Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated because we are going to start in 15 minutes. And to those who are sitting in the back seat, please move forward and don't forget to wear your alma mater.
All this economy expansion requires electricity, and this electricity needs some source. This is why nuclear plays a major role in that. An energy working group studied the electricity production demand here in the and environmental neighborhood. And also we looked at renewables, which the UAE, as you may know,
Dari sana aja.
in the area of review services, in the area of technical support. So we highly support the our partnership with the IAEA. You can categorize it in three categories. One is we receive guidance and support from them. Secondly, we work with the IAEA in meeting our international obligations, and that comes from safeguards, obligations, state obligations, generally. An energy working group studied the electricity production demand here in the UAE. The result was a tremendous increase projection. In 2007,
Yukiya Amano. Also, welcome to please be seated. We are proceeding to the general lecture. Good afternoon, everyone. I am pleased to welcome you all here to the general lecture, to today's general lecture. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Abian, and it is a great honor for me to be your master of ceremony for today's general lecture. Also, once again, I would like to extend a warm welcome for you and appreciate you taking off your busy schedule to join us in general lecture with the theme of down-to-earth diplomacy, atoms for people, economic government. Also, I would like to personally welcome Director of General of the International Atomic, I would like to personally welcome Vice Rector of Collaboration and Information System, Professor Dr. Insinyur Ridho Nurrohmat, MSCF, Chair of Institute of Research and Community Service, Dr. Prastowo M. Chair of School of Farming and Husbandry, Professor Dr. Insinyur Mulatno MSA, Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, His Excellency Yukiya Amano, Deputy of Nuclear Supervisor Body, Mr. Yusradian, Chairman of Batan, Professor Jarod Sulistyo Wisnubroto, Representative of Ministry of Research, Technology, and Higher Education, Mr. Homatua Dahlia and Mr. Hendro Wicaksono, Director, Technical Cooperation for Asia and Pacific, TCAP, Ms. Najat Mokhtar, Director for International Security and Disarmament, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ms. Grata Enda Werdanitias, Director of SIRA, Mr. Toti Chipto Sumirat, and last but not least, TCNLO Technical Cooperation National License Officer, Mr. Eko Mani Parmuto. Please give the applause to our honorable guest. So, before we start today's public lecture, I would like to start by introducing you to the agenda. We are going to open this general lecture with the opening remarks by our Vice Rector of Collaboration and Information System, Professor Dr. Insinyur Dodi Krido Nurahmat, MSCF. Afterwards, we're going to have the main event, which is going to be the general lecture itself, that is going to be conducted by His Excellency Yukiya Amano, and the moderator will be DRS Toti Chipto Sumirat M. Rus SJI as Chief of Baton. Moving on to the next agenda, we will have question and answer session, and right after we wrap everything up, we're going to have a photo session right in the front of the building. Without any further ado, I would like to invite our Vice Rector in Collaboration and Information System, Professor Dr. Insinyur Dodi Krido Nurahmat, MSCF, to Professor Dr. Insinyur Dodi Krido Nurahmat, MSCF. Please proceed to the stage.
His Excellency Director General of International Atomic Energy Agency, Mr. Yukiya Amano, Chairman of the National Nuclear Energy of Indonesia, Professor Jarod Sulistyo Wisnubroto, Deputy Chairman for Nuclear Safety Assessment, Dr. Yus Rosdian Ahmad, Director of Industrial Technology Development, Dr. Homatua Dahlia, Chairman of Research Center for Science and Technology, Dr. Sri Setiawati, Chair of the Research and Community Services of IPB, Dr. Prastowo, honorable participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. On behalf of Bogor Agricultural University, I would like to extend our warmest welcome and thank you to all of you who are participating today for your interest and support for this general lecture. May I wish you all a warm welcome to Bogor. It is my great honor to be here and deliver welcoming remarks at this important event. The general lecture entitled Down to Earth Nuclear Diplomacy, Atomic for People Economic Development. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps it is the first time for some of you to come to Bogor, our beloved and beautiful city, but also traffic jam. Sorry for that. Where our university, the only agricultural university in Indonesia, lies in Bogor. Thus, I would like to explain about our university in brief. Bogor Agricultural University is leading university focused on development of agriculture sciences and technologies. We have 9 faculties, 1 postgraduate school, 1 research center, and 1 community service institution, which covers 26 research centers with great variety and scope. This research center intensively focuses on research, assessment, and knowledge, as well as technology dissemination of broad disciplines. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, professors and students of Bogor Agriculture University has been continuously conducting researches. Not few times, our researchers are something innovative, functional, and can recognize and commercially implemented by the government in order to help publics. As a modern place of science, students of Bogor Agriculture University bundles top quality research and innovation on both national and international level. One of the researches that can directly be implemented by publics is institutional research. One of the parameters of the research is how it must create collaboration, synergy with national government, regional government, and other universities that has the same vision with us to use research as a tool to empower public farmers. Not limited to those parties, we also involve insurance company in our research, so it can ensure everyone who involves in our research. In the notion of collaboration, Bogor Agriculture University will be partnering with National Nuclear Energy Agency of Indonesia, or BATAN, in several schools of animal husbandry. We call it Sekolah Peternakan Rakyat, or SPR, as a sponsor by International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA. The project will be running this year under the Technical Cooperation Program funded by International Atomic Energy Agency. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude my remarks, I would like to extend our gratitude to Mr. Yukiya Amano, Director General of International Atomic Energy Agency, to have him with us today. I hope this lecture can enlighten public towards nuclear's role for world peace. Again, I am pleased and honored to welcome all of you to the city of Bogor.
Thank you very much to Professor Dr. Insinyur Dodi Ridon Rahmat, MSJF, as Vice Rector in Collaboration and Information System for a very enlightening opening remarks. Moving on to our main agenda, I would like to invite His Excellency Yukiya Amano and DRS Toti Cipto Sumirat Emrus SJI as a moderator to come to the stage. To His Excellency Yukiya Amano and DRS Toti Cipto Sumirat Emrus SJI, the stage are yours.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am very pleased to be back in Indonesia and to speak at this distinguished university. This is my third visit to your country since I became IAEA Director General 8 years ago. Last year, I subscribed to the Gender Champion in Vienna. The idea is to promote the participation of women. And one of my commitments is to attend only meetings where women's representation is more than 50%. In many cases, I cannot honor my commitment, but today I can easily, I can tell that I honored my commitment. This is a very good sign. Bogor Agriculture University has built up a strong reputation for the quality of its teaching and research. I understand that the university was established in 1963, which makes you just a little younger than the IAEA. IAEA was established in 1957, and we have just celebrated our 60th anniversary. Agency turned 60 last year. In the public mind, the IAEA is associated primarily with the work to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons, perhaps also with the assistance we provided after Fukushima Daiichi accident in 2011. International media likes to write about nuclear watchdog, or in other parts of the world, the IAEA is believed to be an organization promoting nuclear power. But in fact, our work covers almost everything to do with nuclear science and technology. Our activities are very extensive, but these activities, I mean the activities related to the peaceful use of nuclear technology, are not well known. Nuclear technology plays a much higher role, much bigger role in our daily lives than most people realize. From the microchips and the battery in your smartphone to the tires of your car and the electrical cables in your home, items such as these are routinely treated by radiation. Radiation technology helps us prevent food from spoiling. It can be used to monitor pollution, identify buildings which may be in danger of collapse after earthquakes, and reveal cracks in the wings of aircraft. And of course, nuclear technology plays a key role in the diagnosis and treatment of cancer and other major diseases. I just went to African countries 10 days ago, and I have visited hospitals. Nuclear machines are used for diagnosis and treatment. Now, our motto is Atoms for Peace and Development. Nuclear technology is contributing to attain the sustainable development goals. Ladies and gentlemen, our motto is Atoms for Peace and Development. The agency was established in 1957, as I said, and now has 169 member states. Transferring nuclear technology to developing countries is core IAEA business and one of the most important areas of their work. The IAEA is a unique organization in the UN family. We have our own technology, and we have the mechanism to deliver, to transfer the technology to developing countries. The IAEA contributes directly to the achievement of 9 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Nuclear science and technology help countries to reduce poverty and hunger, generate electricity, manage water resources, treat diseases such as cancer, and respond to climate change, and much more. IAEA support is not primarily about handing over equipment. We are not a funding organization, and we are not that wealthy. We focus rather on transferring knowledge and expertise. High quality technical training helps countries to build their own expertise so they can train future generations of nuclear specialists. I said I went to African countries 10 days ago, and I went to Botswana, And most of the young ladies working there as experts in the veterinary laboratory were former trainees of the IAEA. Our strength is capacity building. Indonesia was a founding father of the agency in 1957 and is an important partner in many areas of our activities. Just for example, Indonesian Ambassador Jibala is the chairman of the Board of Governors. Board of Governors is the policy-making organ of the IAEA, and now he is the chairman. Under his very able guidance, the IAEA is addressing the very complicated, difficult issues. We have an active technical cooperation program here in Indonesia, which is based on Indonesia's needs and priorities as determined by your country. We offer possibilities, but it is you to decide. Let me give you a few examples. You may have heard the city of Bandung won the title of ASEAN Environmentally Sustainable City last year. The city's use of nuclear technique to monitor air pollution contributed to that achievement. Measurement is very, very important. If you want to fight against the pollution, the starting point is the measurement. I was born in 1947, and in the 1970s, Japan was very much polluted. There was no fish in the river, and it was difficult to go outside when in a hot summer day because of the air pollution. Nowadays, sun comes back to the rivers in Tokyo. This was made possible because there was a nationwide measurement of air by using the nuclear techniques. The IAEA worked for many years with scientists from US National Nuclear Energy Agency, Batam, providing equipment and expert advice on the use of two nuclear analytical techniques to measure and analyze pollutants in the air. As a result of the data obtained, Bandung tightened its regulations on the burning of agricultural and household waste and began educating citizens about the harmful effects of burning their waste. IAEA specialists also work with Indonesian counterparts on developing new varieties of soybeans by using what we call radiation, including mutation techniques. By applying radiation to seeds, it is possible to accelerate a mutation process that occurs spontaneously in nature and to develop new varieties of crops faster than through traditional plant breeding methods. You may know that we have radiation everywhere. It comes from cosmos, it comes from concrete, or it comes from ground. So, in the nature, we have lots of radiation. Plants receiving the radiation has some mutation in the nature. It takes place without doing anything. But by applying small portion of radiation, we can accelerate this process. In the past, many people believe that cancer is a disease of developed countries. But this is not true. 2/3 of deaths of cancer occur in developing countries. Asia is in better situation, but in African continent, 28 countries do not have any single cancer machine. And in many cases, cancer patients come to the clinic too late, and doctors cannot give life-saving treatment. Asia has the highest burden of cancer in the world. Some 55% of global cancer deaths occur in this region, and the trend is rising. Sadly, Indonesia is no exception. The IAEA works to help countries acquire both the equipment and the medical and technical expertise they need to treat cancer effectively. We advised the government of Indonesia on the development of a national cancer control program. The goals include expanding the availability of radiotherapy services in all provinces. We provided training for medical physicists who are vital members of the radiotherapy team and helped to establish a teleconference system which allow doctors at hospitals around the country to consult each other on individual cancer cases. Specialist training for doctors, medical physicists, radiologists, nurses, and researchers is at the heart of what we do. We have unique e-learning initiatives which enable specialists to receive high-quality training without having to make costly trips abroad. The follow-up IAEA expert missions, known as Impact Review, took place in Indonesia last month to advise on additional measures that might be needed on the national cancer control programs. I talked about cancer, but this can be applied to other diseases, for example, cardiovascular or even Alzheimer. The important point is that not only the equipment, but training. The technology makes progress all the time, even by using the same machine. So medical doctors need to be updated and need to be trained again and again. With that, they can provide the effective and safe service to the patients. Ladies and gentlemen, energy is indispensable for development. Huge increases in energy supply will be required in the coming decades to support economic development and lift more than 2 billion people out of energy poverty. Nuclear power can help to address the twin challenges of ensuring reliable energy supply while curbing greenhouse gas emissions. We have two objectives. We need to supply enough energy, but it must curb greenhouse gas emissions. Today, nuclear power produces 11% of the world's electricity. But when it comes to low carbon electricity, nuclear generates almost 1/3 of the global total of low carbon energy. Nuclear power plants produce virtually no greenhouse gas emissions or air pollutants during their operation and very low emission over their entire life cycle. The use of nuclear power reduces carbon dioxide emission by about 2 gigatons per year. Gigatons may not say anything, but let me say, this is equivalent of taking more than 400 million cars off the road every year. Frankly, it is difficult to see how the world will be able to meet the challenge of securing sufficient energy and mitigating the impact of climate change without making more use of nuclear power. I mean, without using nuclear power, it is not realistic to expect that countries can achieve the climate change objectives of Paris. 30 countries are already using nuclear power. Most of them are developed countries. Around 30 more are considering building their first nuclear power plants or have started doing so. Most of these possible newcomers are developing nations. Recently, we see clear trend in the future use of nuclear power. The center of expansion is no longer Europe or North America, but in Asia. And in the past, use of nuclear power was limited almost only to developed countries. But now, developing countries are starting to use nuclear power. I visited UAE, United Emirates, last year, and I saw the construction of 4 nuclear power plants. And one is almost completed, and it will be commissioned very soon. I understand that the government of Indonesia has been considering introducing nuclear power, but that no final decision has been made. The IAEA does not try to influence countries' decision on whether or not to add nuclear power to their energy mix. It is the decision of each country, and we do not intervene, we do not influence. But if countries decide to proceed, we provide every assistance so that they can use nuclear power safely, securely, and sustainably. Safety is most important, especially when countries use nuclear power. But it must be sustainable, because initial investment is very high. And only when you use the nuclear power for decades, it makes sense. Ladies and gentlemen, partnerships are at the center of IAEA's approach to assisting developing countries. For example, we work very closely with the World Health Organization on non-communicable diseases and with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations on improving food security. In dealing with cancer, we work with WHO and other NGOs. We have the joint division established by FAO and IAEA in relation to the food security, plant mutation, and agriculture. Our nuclear application laboratories in Vienna, which are presently being modernized, collaborate with hundreds of partner laboratories throughout the world, including in the Pacific region. We have close relationship with leading NGOs and with private sector. Our most important partners are, of course, our 169 member states. They determine their national priorities and decide in what areas they wish to benefit from the nuclear science and technology. We can offer the possibilities, but I would like to repeat, it is each country to decide. Our technical cooperation program makes a real difference to the lives of millions of people in developing countries. By the plant mutation technology, it is farmers who can benefit. By eradicating the fruit flies, the farmers producing oranges can export to the market of developed countries. And some villages can benefit from the fresh water that was found with the assistance of nuclear technology to have access to water. Our technical cooperation programs makes a real difference to the lives of millions of people in developing countries. In some areas, such as nuclear energy, safety and security, we are the leading international organization. I said a leading organization, but our role is to help them. Nuclear security, nuclear safety are the responsibilities of each state. Whether or not to introduce nuclear energy, nuclear power, is the decision by countries. But once they decide, once they want our assistance, we can provide assistance to the countries. In other areas, such as human health and food and agriculture, we play a supporting role, but a very effective one. In all areas of our work, our goal is to achieve concrete results that make a clear difference to the lives of people we serve. The IAEA's important aspect is to deliver peaceful practices. We also help countries, including Indonesia, with nuclear safety and security. I will be very happy to take questions on these, or indeed on any aspect of the work of the IAEA. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, His Excellency Yukiya Amano, as the Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency. Would probably like to excuse me. I'm trying to explain English a little bit, and then invite the question in English. So it's very easy for me to explain in Indonesian and then receiving question from English questions. Jadi Bapak Ibu semua sekalian yang saya hormati, saya mendapatkan tugas di sini untuk terus kemudian sedikit memandu acara tanya jawab. Walaupun di depan ada tema yang tertulis di situ adalah down to earth diplomasi di situ, dan terus kemudian atom for people's economic developments. Tapi kata kunci yang mungkin bisa sudah diambilnya adalah atom for peace and developments. Dan beberapa statement sudah disampaikan dari Bapak yang mulia Yukiya Amano bahwa IAEA adalah merupakan suatu lembaga internasional yang terus kemudian menyediakan berbagai teknologi nuklir aplikasi untuk bidang environment, untuk bidang pangan, untuk bidang kesehatan, dan juga energi. Dan semuanya itu sifatnya itu adalah dalam bentuk technical cooperations, yang artinya adalah bantuan-bantuan yang tidak merupakan bantuan dalam bentuk uang, tetapi bantuan-bantuan yang bisa dinikmati oleh negara-negara yang membutuhkannya dalam bentuk bantuan expert mission, terus kemudian peningkatan capacity building dalam bentuk training atau fellowship, dan juga terus kemudian adanya mungkin pertukaran pengetahuan dengan cara scientific visit, dan juga sedikit adanya terus kemudian bantuan sedikit equipment. Nah, dari beberapa penjelasan yang sudah disampaikan, mungkin ada pertanyaan yang mungkin untuk klarifikasi dan juga terus kemudian kaitannya menambah wawasan untuk terus kemudian apa sebetulnya lebih dalam lagi International Atomic Energy Agency ini. Maka kami undang pertanyaan langsung saja. Saya utamakan mohon izin Bapak Wakil Rektor dan juga Bapak Kepala Badan dan juga mungkin Bapak Ketua WPF dan Bapak Ibu serta Profesor Guru Besar yang lainnya untuk mengutamakan yang postgrad ataupun undergrad student untuk terus kemudian bisa berinteraksi dengan His Excellency Yukiya Amano selaku Direktur Dirjen Atomic Energy. Silakan, mungkin dari sini dua dulu dari sini dan dua dulu. So I'm inviting two questions from here, two questions from here, and two questions, and most importantly, not coming from the professor of the lecturer, coming from the undergrad or postgrad students. So, one by one, two or three. Oh, two or three. Okay, so two or three. So it's better to have three there because it's three sides. Two or three, anything. Alright, okay. So, ya, mohon maaf yang sudah duluan, silakan Pak. Ada bisa bantu mic-nya untuk pertanyaannya? Satu question langsung dijawab. Terus kemudian siap-siap di sini siapa yang akan menjadi terdakwa dan kemudian di sebelah sana yang akan terdakwa. Silakan Mas.
Terima kasih sebelumnya.
Nama, ya, fakultas.
Nama saya Septaryadi.
Sudah menikah apa belum? Rumahnya di mana? Oke, silakan.
Terima kasih Pak. Sebelumnya, nama saya Septariadi, saya mahasiswa pasca sarjana Ekonomi Sumber Daya Kelautan Tropika.
Maaf, ini yang mau bertanya bahasa Indonesia atau bahasa Inggris?
Mungkin Indonesia seperti kata Bapak tadi, Bapak translate saja biar lebih.
One itu oke. Silakan.
Terima kasih Pak. Ya, dari Ekonomi Sumber Daya Kelautan Tropika, Fakultas Ekonomi dan Manajemen. Yang pertanyaan saya untuk Yang Mulia Bapak Yukiya Amano. Seperti yang kita tahu bahwa Indonesia ini negara kepulauan, Pak ya, yang banyak dilewati oleh cincin api dunia gitu, sehingga menyebabkan banyak mungkin sekali akan ada bencana-bencana alam ke depannya. Sehingga apakah mungkin kita mengadopsi energi dari atom atau nuklir untuk energi kita ke depannya sebagai energi yang sangat murah dan terbarukan, sehingga aman untuk Indonesia di masa mendatang dengan keadaan Indonesia yang mungkin sangat berisiko dari sisi bencana alamnya. Seperti itu Pak pertanyaannya. Seperti kemarin kita tahu bahwa beberapa kali kita sudah berusaha untuk membangun reaktor nuklir mungkin di Belitung kalau salah Pak ya. Itu tetap terkendala hingga hari ini tidak bisa karena penolakan dari warga dengan alasan bahwa berisiko untuk kita ke depannya karena banyaknya bencana alam. Pertanyaan saya, apakah mungkin menurut Yang Mulia Yukiya Amano untuk membangun energi terbarukan dari nuklir ataupun atom di Indonesia? Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Saya bikin pusing aja jawabnya. So the question is regarding to the development or building up or constructing the nuclear power plant. Oh, ternyata di udah satu lagi. Siap-siap ya terbaik. Silakan. Wah, paling cepat dia. Duduknya paling cepat dia. Mohon maaf. Dia paling cepat. Silakan. Ini mau bahasa Indonesia, bahasa Jawa, bahasa Ambon, bahasa Inggris aja langsung Mas.
Oke, bahasa Inggris ya.
Iya, siap.
Ya. Before I say thank you for His Excellency Yukiya Amano. My name is Firman Hayudin from Department of Aquaculture, as undergraduate student of Department of Aquaculture, Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science, Bogor Agricultural University. My question is, according to the postgraduate student, there is nuclear power plant in Indonesia. But my question is, what you prefer for the nuclear power plant is using a fission energy or fusion energy? And my second question is there possible to use the nuclear energy for transportation? Okay, thank you.
Terima kasih, thank you. The third one please. Yes, Mbak yang di belakang sana. Mohon bantu untuk mic-nya. Sudah berdiri itu Mbaknya, lagi berdiri bukan mau pulang, mau menanya. Bahasa Inggris, bahasa Inggris.
My name is Alda Pakarcinias from Civil and Environmental Engineering, Bogor Agricultural University. My question, first of all, from what I know, nuclear technology and radiation technology is quite costly. And how or has IAEA helped a developing country with a high rate of poverty in introducing or providing this technology for agriculture? Thank you.
Zarek.
We have questions. The first question is, Indonesia has fire lines. Is it possible for Indonesia to develop a nuclear power plant? Yes, and the short answer is yes. It is possible. First, we need to know that Indonesia is traditional user of nuclear technology, and you are very advanced compared to other countries, and you have a critical pool of talented, well-trained people in this area of nuclear physics and nuclear application. You are not a country that do not have technology. You do have technology. Then, next question is, how about the future? It depends on the decision of your country. I always think, in order to embark on nuclear power, difficulty number one, public acceptance, second, money, and third, technology. It is very important that we have good understanding from the population And of course, huge fund is needed to start with. But if you use the nuclear power plants for a long time, it becomes a very effective and efficient source of energy. You already have talented people, well-trained people, but if you decide to embark on nuclear power, additional training is needed, and strengthening of regulatory body will be needed. But this is of course doable. Nuclear power plant is a mega project. It is not only related to nuclear physics, but you need chemists, IT engineers, civil engineers, and almost every discipline of the work. Your country is developed enough to have all of these capabilities. Some more will be needed. What is important is follow the right process, prepare carefully and step by step, and you can reach the objective. It is not whether you can do or not. If you decide, I'm sure you can. But with preparation and taking a careful step is needed to achieve the objective, because safety is most important. Safety must come first. And with that having in mind, you can certainly achieve the objective if you decide to do so. Next question is fission or fusion, and can nuclear energy be used for transportation? The answer is very simple. Fission. Fusion is a very interesting technology, and IAEA is functioning as a focal point for the development of fusion technology. And there is a huge project in Cadarache, France, to establish the ITER project. But it will not for tomorrow's technology. The first will be produced in 2025, but it doesn't mean that we can use it commercially. It is only to prove that we can produce electricity by fusion. And many experts think that it will be another half of 21st century when fusion will be used commercially. Therefore, the current option is some fission or traditional nuclear power plants. There are many varieties of many type of nuclear power plants, and for now we are manufacturing, constructing third generation or third generation plus nuclear power plants. The most widely used technology is light water reactors, and in light of the experience of for decades, safety feature has been much more enhanced. Can we use it for transportation? In some cases, it is used directly, like ships powered by nuclear power, but it is exceptional. The most likely use of nuclear energy will be, I think, electric cars. In 20 years' time, many people believe that most of the cars, or all of the cars, will be replaced by electric cars. But where comes the electricity? If you burn coals to run electric cars, the pollution will just increase. And low carbon energy is needed to make the electric cars really environmentally friendly. I'm not sure, but one of the experts told me that converting or replacing the existing cars by electric cars means 10% increase of the use of electricity. 10% is huge. And nuclear is very difficult to provide that energy because it runs all the time, 24 hours. When it is sunny, when it is dark, and it can provide stable, large amount of energy. Nuclear technology is costly. That is the image. When you talk about or when you hear the nuclear technology, you may think it is very expensive, gigantic, and not affordable. It is not always the case. Some of the nuclear technology is very, not very inexpensive, but affordable. For example, we have helped Western African countries to detect Ebola virus. And by using nuclear technology, we can detect virus in a timely manner. It is very important to prevent the outbreak or save human lives. If I remember well, the cost of that kit is between $50,000 to $100,000. It is expensive for my pocket, but for the government, and save from 3,000 people, or 50,000 is not that expensive. It depends. If you construct a nuclear power plant, yes, it is expensive. If you use nuclear technology for other purposes, some are not that expensive. The nuclear machines for cancer detection or cancer treatment can be $500,000 to $1 million or above. If you want to export meat to the developed countries' market, you have to ensure the food safety, and laboratory is needed to give the certificate. But each equipment is $500,000, maximum is $1 million. So if you think of the benefit of the export, for example, it's worthwhile to do it. Some are expensive, others are not expensive. If you consider the benefit that you can get from the investment, I don't think nuclear equipment are expensive.
Thank you very much for the answer. Do you still have some time to move further lectures? Yes, the second session, I would like to invite for those lecturers probably that would like to make some kind of clarifications. Otherwise, I would like to come back to the undergrades and postgrad for the second round. Before the second session.
Panitia mau difoto nggak? Lupa.